Welcome to Basically Us. This is the show where two friends met online, mentored, and decided to make a podcast. Together they will share good conversations and lively debates on current topics, or they might just faff about. And don't worry, they won't mind their P's and Q's. Ladies and gents, Brady and Bensky.
Hey everybody, welcome to our 7th episode. I am Bensky, and with me as always is my man Brady. Brady, how are we doing today?
What up, man? What's going on?
Dude, I mean everything. So I'm sure you guys know, because you are loyal listeners to our podcast, that we've had a little bit of a break. We'll obviously get into a lot of that, and this will most likely be our last one for the end of the year. So we've got a lot to talk about today. But yeah, I mean, it's been absolutely insane, and I know you've been through a ton of insanity the last few weeks, especially. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know where you want to start. Like, where do we want to get into this?
So let's start. Okay, so we can start like my not being home for a month, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't home for like a month, dude. Like, so like I didn't even get to 3D print. I didn't get to like really shoot any content. I mean, like I kind of started shooting content in like the airports and stuff, but yeah, that was wild. Like not being home for a month was wild.
Yeah. Well, and then like you had that, and then like my family was gone for like a week, and then I took that opportunity to kind of like redo like my basement and do a bunch of stuff, and that like basically secluded me though, because I was just trying to work on everything uninterrupted. And so I don't think you and I like even talked for like almost 2 weeks, just because we were going like, crazy.
Truth be told, when I knew that you were working on your basement and you were organizing it, I was not going to mess up that process at all. Because oh my gosh, like it's so nice to like see in the background of your videos now that like you put some effort in. I'm happy for
things are in place. Yeah, and it's I will say it's still like 90% done. Because the hard part is, so crazy thing. So I was on Misfits podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were talking a lot about like Etsy businesses and like 3D printing businesses, and it was a really fun podcast. I really enjoyed doing it. Shout out to Misfit for that. But I released a new product on my Etsy a week and a half ago. It was a new dice tower. It like holds like a can of soda, and it looks like the Tower of Sauron, and it's like a dice tower also. It's freaking sick. And then I rub and buff them to make it look like, I think you probably saw the TikTok video of me like rub and buffing it. So they look really cool. I just, anyone who watched that saw that whole motion too and everything. But yeah, it was a big video of me rubbing buffing, you know what I mean?
That's how he actually makes, hold on real quick. That's actually how Bensky makes the plastic. You good? You good? That's how Bensky makes the plastic harder. I just want to let you know, he rubs and buffs it.
Rubs and buffs it. Who's super hard after that. Okay, so anyways, I released this on Etsy, and between a week and a half ago and now, I have sold 110 of them. It already got the Etsy bestseller badge. It has the bestseller badge for role-playing games, and it's only been out for a week and a half. Even I don't even know if it's been that long. And so I've been obviously printing like crazy, and like I have all these boxes laying everywhere. So like that 90% has stayed like 90% fixed because all these influx of orders came in. And on top of that, I got the K2 Plus, which has been a monster machine. I freaking love that thing. But okay, I'm hoping
we gotta talk about that. We have to talk about the K2 Plus real quick, and then we'll
talk about it.
We'll move into our regular scheduled program. Yeah. Okay, so the K2 Plus in our group chat, right? In our group chat,
yeah,
I have to call you out for like one of the biggest smoke and mirror bullshit things on the planet, right? Because you got in. Where you're going. You got in like early on like the pre-order thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here you are bitching about the price of the K2 Plus when, motherfucker, I know that you got like a steep, let's call it a steep discount.
Oh, right? It was half off. It was half off.
That's what I'm saying. You're sitting there going, oh man, I can't believe it's $1,500, man. It really sucks. And I'm sitting there in my back of my head going, see, the other people on this thing don't have any damn idea because they don't pay attention to shit. Is that Betsky got this thing for like half off, right?
I know, and I bought a second one. It's on its way. I bought the second
now you have
one
the right
with
to pitch.
Yeah, because I bought the second one with the so this is an 8-color one. So this one was like 1,800. But here's okay. I will tell you this. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. So they screwed up the pre-orders really bad, like Creality did, and they sent everyone who pre-ordered one a permanent Creality VIP 10% off coupon. And it's stackable. So I got the Black Friday sale with the Creality K2 Plus with the 10% off. So it was actually only like $1,650. So
that's really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I will say, like, for the 3D printing fans that listen to the podcast, the K2 Plus has to be the best machine I've ever touched. Like it's not even close. The quality rivals everything that Bamboo puts out. I have this particular, toothless, right? The little, the dragon. I make these little toothless flexi dragons for my shows, and I make them so they fill a full bed size plate for an A1, just to give you a reference, right? And so I can fit one on an A1 or one on an X1 carbon, and it does it in about 18 hours, right? With all the color changes and everything else like that. I can fit 4 on the K2 Plus, and it did it in 10 hours, and they look the same. And so
that kind of makes sense, though. And I don't want to like get too far into this, but that kind of makes sense.
No, you're good.
If you're doing 4, right? It doesn't have to color change as much. I don't know. It's
wild. Yeah, but it's great.
Anyway.
So I highly recommend Creality. Also, if you're listening, I would love more printers. I love my K1 Maxes and K2 Plus. So
like my K1 Max.
Hey, it's a good. That thing is such.
Dude, mine doesn't even have a screen on it anymore. Like it literally.
I know, and you still run it
all the time.
Yeah,
I stop it for the podcast, but that's it.
Yeah. That's so kind of you. So I wish everybody would stop their machines for the podcast. But
yeah, no shit. Episode 3. Thank you. And every time you stopped talking, it was just like if you talked, everything was fine, and then as soon as you stopped talking, it was.
Dude, that's why I'm in my room now. It's nice and clean. It's everything.
You almost ruptured. You almost ruptured Oz's eardrum. By the way, I just want to let you know with that screeching. Good grief.
I know. I felt bad. But it's funny. Every time I set up the camera stuff in here, I always remember that story of you setting up all your camera stuff in your hotel room and then leaving, and then the housekeeping having to find all of it. But speaking of past podcasts, past everything, since this is probably going to be the last podcast we're going to record before the end of the year. I think because we've been slowly getting known for our hot takes on movies and stuff like that. I think it'd be fun to talk about the favorite movies, our top 3 favorite movies and least favorite movies from 2024. And I think to make it a little easier, I think we should exclude like Prime Video or Netflix exclusive movies. Because I think a lot of us can agree about like Rebel Moon and stuff like that, where that lands on that category.
Yeah, but the problem though is that I do have like in my top 3 favorites is a movie from Netflix though.
I think we can. That should be an honorable mention.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But we have the top 3, and I can go first if you want while you think about stuff. Because
I think we're going to agree on the top 1. I mean, I think every nerd on the planet is going to agree on the top 1.
Well, so my number 3 top 3 movies of 2024 is Godzilla X Kong. New Empire. I loved that movie. All I want in a Godzilla movie is big monster and big monkey fighting, and I got it, and it was perfect, and it was just so much fun. And like the rewatchability of that movie is really good because like I remember when it came out on HBO Max, and I was like, all right, let's watch this, and I watched it like 7 times. So that was definitely my number 3. My number 2 was actually Transformers 1. That's my number 2.
Really?
It was. Did you watch it?
Yeah,
I really liked it. I think part of it was I didn't expect any of it. They didn't. my caution with any prequel movie like that is that they over explain things, and they didn't. They just kind of like threw you in and just like had you figure it out. And I did not expect the emotional twist that I was gonna feel through that.
Yeah.
And also I really thought Bumblebee was going to be unbearable because he talked too much. And what I love, this is something they did that Marvel can't figure out, which is when serious moments happen, you don't have to crack a fucking joke. Like, you don't have to do it, but Marvel does it all the time, and I hate it. And I loved the scene where like Megatron's like, he has Bumblebee and he has him, and they're sitting there and he's giving his speech, and like they're all scared, and Bumblebee doesn't crack a joke. And I
Right.
loved that.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
agree.
little moment that I was like, wow, these guys really knew how to write this movie. And I just loved it. I just absolutely loved it. I want to save number one until we get to your two and threes, because it could be bad. This could be bad. We could maybe not agree.
Well, I mean, we have a tendency not to agree on top threes, and that was pretty bad. I would say, like, if I had to go, I'm trying to think 2024 movies, right? Like, because I'm just trying to like unscramble my brain on this one. I know, like, I would say like my number 2 definitely is Wish. I loved Wish. I
forgot
Wish.
that was 2024.
See, 2024 Wish was so good. It was so good. Like, and I don't know why it got so much hate, but it was just like a good rinse and repeat Disney movie that explained things. And then we got to see a lot of people don't realize that it was an origin story as well for the Man in the Mirror for Snow White.
Right. And that's important.
Snow White. Yeah, for Snow White. So yeah, that was like, and it was super important. So like, I thought it was great. I love the music from it. I love Chris Pine in it. Like, it was all the way around. Loved that movie. So that'd be my number 2. Number 3, man, I'm trying to struggle here on this one. And like, I really, really want to say Gladiator. It was just to me. And so like everybody like is just talking shit about it, like not being like a good fan payoff. I like fan payoffs, and I think it was a good fan payoff. Like, I thought the story was good. I thought the story was good. I thought the acting was incredible. Like, I really thought that Denzel in Gladiator was going to be like typical Denzel, like, I'm in Rome, and Rome's good, like total training day Denzel.
I'm King Kong in this motherfucker.
Right, dude. Like, I thought it was going to be, but he like really did justice to the role and the storyline. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Well, no, it's been a couple weeks.
It's been out long enough.
The fact that they did a play on Lucius being Maximus's son, I thought that was really good. So over and cinematically, it was amazing. Like the boat scenes and everything else like that was absolutely fantastic. So I would say that one. And then my honorable mention real quick before we get into number 1 is 100% Damsel on Netflix. I loved loved Damsel.
We never recapped. I did watch it, and I agree that it's fantastic. It's not my honorable mention. My honorable mention is The Beekeeper.
Oh, that was good too, though.
It met my expectations perfectly. It was exactly what I wanted, which was 100%. A stupid Jason Statham movie where he just says, "I'm a beekeeper" the entire time.
Yes,
and it was perfect. It was so good.
Yeah. And you have the bad guy that really doesn't matter to anybody else except for outside of that little circle because the old lady is getting right. It's perfect. It was perfect.
It was such a perfect movie.
Okay, so number 1.
Okay. My number 1.
Oh boy.
Because of how much I'm invested into this series and how much I really loved this edition was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Are you fucking serious right now?
I loved that movie. I loved
that movie. Was the biggest waste of film on the
it is.
Thank God it was digital. Thank God it was digital because that was the biggest. Like, dude, when I got done watching that movie, I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm never gonna get this time back, ever."
No, because here's the deal. I want it to be. Here's the deal. I want it to be Deadpool and Wolverine. I want it to be. I do.
Because it is.
It's. I'll tell you why it's not for me. because the parts of Deadpool and Wolverine that I loved were, first of all, I do love that movie. I've watched it 100 times since it's come out on Disney Plus. But there's just I really love the world of Planet of the Apes, and the way Planet of the Apes ended with the expansion of what we're gonna see coming forward makes me outrageously excited.
But that
Like
doesn't make a good movie, Bensky.
It does. If it,
having Caesar die at the end doesn't make it a good movie. Proximo, right? Like, it was horrible. That movie was so bad.
but
It
the satellites.
so much. It drugged so much. And I agree. Like, if you just looked at the beginning first like 10 minutes of that movie, probably the middle like 20, and the last 10 minutes of that movie, yeah, it's a good movie, right? Other than that, it was terrible.
There is a lot. There's a lot that's not good.
Fake as fuck. They were so bad. It was like some kid made it with CapCut in their basement, in their mom's basement. Two, the voice acting was horrible. Like,
really?
Oh my god. Okay, so
I thought
little
Kevin
special
Durant
needs
did
monkey,
so good.
The little special needs monkey was so dumb, dude. Oh, hey,
no, I mean, I agree.
Like, basically, all they did was try to replicate Dobby from Harry Potter in fucking
Dobby.
In the ape world. It was horrible, and there was no soccer. Like, there was no him being mean or anything like that. Like, it was like the same story arc as Dobby in Harry Potter. It really was. Oh, they gave me a place to sleep. Oh, they gave me a sock. It's the same thing, and they talk the same too. It's ridiculous. But anyways,
funny.
I love the fact that you love it, right? Because that's what movies
I
are
do.
about.
I do love it. I do love it. And I will say it is 99% tied with Deadpool and Wolverine. And again, because of the absolute, like, just jaw-dropping the cave scene, or the hideout scene when you meet Elektra and Gambit and Blade. The joy that I felt in that moment is just insane.
Did you switch it up? You're now talking about Deadpool, Wolverine.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like,
God.
that's why it rivals it. Yeah. Because, like, it's like, that feeling that I felt in that moment is what Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes did for me. It's just like, it just fills my heart with just joy. But again, I can be okay with the fact that I'm more invested into the Planet of the Apes series. You know, that whole the old school Charlton Heston show is one of my favorites of all time.
Yep, that's good though. Like, that's the thing though.
But I just, like I said, I just like the whole arcing everything about it.
I like it, but here's the thing: is there are certain movies I like, right? Like, you know that there are certain like streams of movies that I like, but I can admit when like one's not good, and like that was the problem for me. Is The Kingdom was not good comparatively to the other three.
I didn't feel like. See, to me, I didn't feel like it was bad, but maybe it's because I saw a lot of bad movies this year, like Joker.
There were a lot.
Oh my god. Anyways, we'll talk about our least favorites anyways, but like there are some, like, it was hard to make my top 3 list of like bad because they were all so bad. And part of the bad movie list is that they were like betrayingly disappointing. But anyways, we could talk about that later. So is your number 1 Deadpool and Wolverine this year?
No, my number 1 is Ant-Man Quantumania, actually.
Wait, really?
No, fuck no, it's not. It's Deadpool.
Okay, I was like, we cannot talk about bad movies. You can't shit on my Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and go like, oh, you know MODOK? He's the best character that's ever been created. I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm not going to do this shit. I'm not going to have you shit on my Planet of the Apes and say Quantumania. I was so mad. You got the straight face. I thought, like, you fucker.
Dude, I do social media for a side gig, bro. Like, you know, I take it serious. I can act.
Seriously, I was like, what the? Oh, God, you're like, no, it's actually Madam Web.
If it.
I finally saw it like a week ago. Actually, scratch that. Are you drinking Diet Pepsi?
Well, I have a Monster too.
I have an Alani Nu, and you Diet Pepsi over Pepsi Zero, huh?
Oh yeah, because
and
that
Alani
zero
Nu
stuff is gross.
Okay. No.
We'll have to talk about Alani Nu at some point because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about half the time when you say that. Anyways, okay. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine definitely, man. I think it was a good payoff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I see the criticism when people say it was like fan service, right? Like, and it was, but like, I'm a sucker for fan service when it comes to things like this. And realistically, and you and I spoke about this, right? Is it didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to. When we started hearing like Marvel Jesus and everything like that, I thought he was going to come through and like write the timeline the way it should be. So like great example is like if somebody died in the sacred timeline, he would go to another timeline, bring that person into the sacred time, and then they would axe the timelines, right? Like I kind of thought he was going to work with the TVA opposed to the TVA really kind of being the villain in the end. So but it was great. It was great.
But the other thing about the fan service is like where there's gratuitous cameos in movies that don't mean anything. At least everything meant something in Deadpool Wolverine. Like even the ones where they're in the, they're in that realm, like they meant something. It meant they weren't just gratuitous. They were there for a reason.
See, I felt like that about Civil War. I felt Civil War was just gratuitous. I thought Civil
it is,
War
and it was
just
it was
bad. I felt like it was a trailer, right? Like I was like, okay, I'm like, and don't get me wrong, it was nice to have something because there was a long period of time where we didn't have anything Marvel. So when Civil War came out, it was nice to have like a 2.5 hour trailer. But that to me, that's what it was a 2.5 hour trailer for what was to come in like phase 4 or 5 or whatever Feige calls it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's the thing is like, but like in Deadpool and Wolverine, like it meant something. And it's funny because I think when a lot of people saw it, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe they got Wesley Snipes. I was actually more impressed that they talked Jennifer Gardner into reprising her role than Wesley Snipes.
But don't you think they got her though because she probably said like, "Hey, I just want to rip on my ex-husband," and they were like, "Cool."
I mean, probably, yeah. They were like, "Hey, we have this joke about your ex-husband."
Shot.
She's like, "Oh, and it was a perfect shot." Oh my God, Daredevil! I'm so sorry. It's fine,
dude. It was so low key and so good, right?
It was so perfect. Oh well, and then I still to this day, internet. I'm quoting Deadpool and Wolverine. Just calm down, but I still. Like will be in tears laughing when he's like, "Oh, look at you! I thought you were retired," and he's like, "Retarded," and it's like, "No!" And it's just like, it's like the funniest joke ever. And it's just like, I want to believe too that like Wesley Snipes genuinely didn't hear him and he said that, and it was like a real thing.
Oh, it could have been. You never know, right?
Right. With him, you just don't know.
I actually have like kind of a weird take on Deadpool and Wolverine too. Like I'm actually really thankful for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie because that is actually what kind of kicked off my friendship with Jack, our friend Jack.
Oh yeah.
Because I responded back to his video and I was like, "Bitch, is that what you think we do?" Remember? I was like, "Bitch, is that what you think we do?" And I was like, "But tell me about that ass thing again." And that just kicked it off, dude. And like, and it's just been downhill ever since.
It's been so good. Yeah, it's been so good since. But yeah, it was a great movie. I think what I really love too is I don't know if you've listened to Ryan Reynolds' interview lately about Deadpool and Wolverine, and he was like, people won't believe this, but if you rewatch the movie thinking this, you'll realize it, which is we didn't want Deadpool to be the centerfold of the movie. We wanted him to be the help for all the other characters in the movie because we hope we can get them to get their own stuff down the line. And I was like, perfect. Oh, and so I watched it again through that lens, and I was like, wow, this really isn't focused around him really that much at all.
It was like selfless. It was selfless. It was
good. It was really cool.
And we got Channing Tatum Gambit. We got to move on. I get it, but like, but Channing Tatum Gambit. Oh my God.
Well, and they greenlit the approval to start writing the Wolverine versus Hulk movie. So I'm here for it. So, as long as it's not like smart Bruce Banner, it just needs to be dumb Hulk.
You're gonna hate me.
No, I don't. If it's that you don't like Hulk, it's fine.
I'm just not a Hulk fan, dude.
I love Hulk as a character.
As a B character, as a B-side character.
Yeah. He's well, I even like his like I like his comics and stuff, but like, yeah, you don't put him in a movie unless it's like Eric Bana and it's really bad CGI. Because I love that movie.
Twice though. They like just ran the car into the wall twice.
Okay. Yeah, so let's move on. Let's go to the top 3 worst. I'm going to start off the list with Madam Web for sure. I just saw it a week ago, and it just
it's so bad.
I can't believe they made that. Next in line is The Watchers. I was really disappointed in that. I wanted
I haven't
more out
seen
of
it.
it. It's not good. Don't worry about it. And my last one, because it was more disappointing than it was bad, and then it was also just bad, was The Crow. I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it to be good. I wanted everything out of it. I love Bill Skarsgård. I love The Crow. And it broke my heart to see how dirty they did it, and it was just bad. And on top of it, it was just bad. So, yeah, I just can't. It was just not good.
I would say,
It wasn't good.
okay. Did Aquaman come out this year? Yeah, it did.
Did it? Kingdom?
Yeah. Oz, can you look it up? Did Kingdom for Aquaman Kingdom, did it come out this year in 2024? I'm pretty sure
2 was 20. No, it was last year. It was 23.
it was 23. Okay.
Yeah.
Madam Web for sure is like my number 3.
It's bad.
Yeah, for sure.
We both
It's
never
so
saw
bad.
Borderlands, but I feel like we can agree that was probably on that list.
You know, I have a hot take on this one actually, real quick. Actually, I think, and I'm going to preemptively say that my number 2 is Craven, and I haven't even seen it yet.
Really?
Yep,
dude, I have such high hopes for that movie.
I don't. My problem is that give me a movie where besides Venom, right? Besides Venom, and Venom is an anti-hero, which I guess Craven could be too, right?
When I think they're pinning him up as one.
Yeah, and my problem with that is that like Craven, I just think is going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad, and I have such high hopes because he's like one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. Like, and I hunt. We all know this. Like, I hunt, and it was just kind of like a thing for me, and I just think it's going to be bad. And my problem is with that whole thing is that Spider-Man villains just do not do well on their own. And we really have not seen a villain origin story really work out. Like, we haven't seen it. Like, maybe Joaquin Phoenix Joker, the first one, was like okay, right? But like, even in Gotham the show, the guy that like they queued up to be Joker isn't Joker. Like, I don't know, man. It's just I very rarely have seen a villain origin story short of, God, I can't even believe I want to say this, but maybe the keywords will get us hits. Besides Wicked, right? Besides Wicked, a villain origin story really work out. It just doesn't do it. Like, and because people already like want to go into the movie and like hate the villain, right? Or like just dislike the villain. And then you do this whole movie around it. And then you're like struggling with the fact that like, I've hated this person for years upon years upon years, but now I kind of like that. I don't know. It just doesn't work out.
You know, I mean, the only way I agree, and the only way a villain origin story would ever really work out is if you buried the lead somehow. Is if you like didn't let everybody know that's who it was until the end,
right?
And so you could like grow a connection with them. But yeah, you just automatically go in with this bias, that they're just not good people. I think maybe the exception to that is anytime they write Magneto in anything.
But he's not standing alone though. That's the thing. He's not standing.
No, but I could have watched a Fassbender Magneto movie, and I know it would have been fine if they would have written it like the way they did the first couple movies. I think his story is
different too, though, right? Because I mean, like that's one of those ones where he was like a Holocaust survivor, like you know. So I mean, he was a Holocaust survivor, then basically running into a second Holocaust, right? When it came to the extermination of mutants. So like, I get that, and realistically, if you want to think about X-Men First Class really was a Magneto like origin story.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was, right?
Yeah. It totally was.
But no, like I just don't see it. I just don't see it being good. And I mean, the last Spider-Man origin movie that we got, like villain origin movie was, do you remember what that one was? Like the origin story of it?
Spider-Man origin movie. I don't remember.
Morbius, bro. And it was fucking horrible. That shit was a train wreck. That shit was an absolute train wreck. I like Jared Leto, weirdly enough. And I like Morbius as a character. I like Spider-Man. And even Sony's pictures have been pretty good as of recently. But Morbius was an absolute dumpster fire. It was horrible.
Horrible. I also really like Jared Leto. I also really like Jared Leto. My
And
hottest take will always be that he's the best Joker that we've ever seen, but I'll talk about that later.
you just need to stop watching Batman, bro. If that's your take,
No,
good lord.
no, Joker's supposed to be unlikable and unrelatable and hated, and that's the only version we've ever gotten where that's been true.
That's not
Ever.
true, man. That's
100%.
not true.
You everybody loves Jack Nicholson. They sympathize with part of him. Everybody loved Heath Ledger. They sympathize with part of his attitude. Everybody liked.
I don't think anybody sympathizes with Heath Ledger's part. I think that everybody
they
just
totally
knows that
did.
played it really well.
No,
Like he
there's
played it
definitely
really
people that
well.
were like, "Oh yeah, he like I can see where he's coming from." No, the only person who's a complete lunatic that everyone hated, the way you're supposed to hate the Joker, was Jared Leto. He was the only one who accomplished, I
I
think,
didn't
what
even hate him when he
true
was
essence
Mark
of the Joker.
Hamill played him, but
Right.
oh, that was terrible. Anyways, no, okay, yeah. So, and then my worst movie of the year.
What's your worst?
Ant-Man Quantumania was my biggest letdown.
That's my number one. Yeah, that's my number one.
That was my biggest letdown by far.
Because the problem is like Ant-Man 1 and 2 were just such bangers. They were just so good. And like for it to just completely not be was so upsetting. It was so upsetting, and I wanted it to be good because I love Scott Lang. I love everything about Ant-Man. Because he was such a good, relatable character for a lot of people. You know, he's kind of that Bruce. He was a step down from Bruce Wayne, where it's like this is genuinely a normal dude in a suit versus Batman, where it's like, well, he's a billionaire, he knows kung fu, like all this stuff. But like, man, you could look at Scott and be like, I could be Scott. It's like I could probably do that, you know. And it's like
for sure.
But then Quantumania comes out, and it's just like they just completely reduce Scott to like nothing, which is like upsetting. They make it more about his daughter, which was not a good choice.
No.
And then MODOK. MODOK was like I understand that MODOK's supposed to be a comic relief character in some aspects, but not like that. That was just so dirty.
Oh, dude, it was so bad, right? Like it was so bad to see. Like I think MODOK is one though, and like maybe we can agree on this. I think MODOK is hard to do live action though.
No, 100%. I think they proved that with that movie.
I think if they would have left the mask on, I think it would have been fine.
It could, well, and also to like connect it to that guy, the bad guy, was like a weird choice. Like he could have just been a nobody, you know. Like we didn't need to make it a weird. Yeah, we didn't need to make it a weird thing.
You know, I you know what? Like this is going to be like my biggest reason why I don't like that movie. It's not my biggest, but like it definitely plays in there. Is that I didn't get Michael Pena. Like I needed Michael Pena in Ant-Man movies, dude. Like I need him telling the story. He's like, you know, like, hey, me and Bensky, we started this podcast, and then he called me up and he said, hey, yo, man, let's go. Like I needed that, and we got it every other Ant-Man, and we even got it like, you know, in other places in Marvel, and we just didn't get Michael Pena in Quantumania. And I'm like, I don't think they realized that. Like, I personally think that Michael Pena is more important to Ant-Man than even Hank Pym, right? And I felt like we got a ton of Hank Pym. And then the other thing for me was, and I love Bill Murray, but Bill Murray was a silly addition to that movie.
It was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary.
I feel like they tried to do like they did in Zombieland, but it didn't play out that way. And it just I love Bill Murray, and I feel like they wasted him. So
but they've been doing that recently. They've been doing that too. Even in Thor Ragnarok, I feel like the Goldblum edition was stupid. Like Ragnarok was good, but like Goldblum, not great. Like not a good part of that movie.
I love Jeff Goldblum so much that I'm willing to see him in anything. Like when he said, I'm gonna go ahead and release you from life. I loved it. I loved it. Right. But or it's my birthday.
I will say, dude, okay, I have one honorable mention for the worst movie, and I don't know if you've seen it yet. And if you haven't, I'm sorry. Moana 2.
I haven't seen it yet, but I don't want to.
Oh my God. Don't. I hated it. Like, it just, the story wasn't good. There was no memorable. I can't tell you. I couldn't even hum a melody to one of the songs right now. Like I can't.
Really? It was that bad?
It was that bad. Like to the
That's
point where like it
crazy.
ended. It ended. My wife and I are walking out into the parking lot, and she goes, "Wait, did Dwayne Johnson have a song?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was 10 minutes ago." And she was like, "I missed that." It wasn't good. I will say it does emotionally tug on your heartstrings in, at least for me, in two spots. And then that was it. It just wasn't.
Really?
They introduced a bunch of new characters that are pointless. They don't have any character development. Again, the songs are bad. And the weirdest part for me is that it's like the second highest grossing movie this year. But it's not surprising that everybody wants to go
Disney.
watch it.
Right.
Yeah. Because like we're like Inside Out 2, I think, is number 1 right now. So like, yeah,
Dude,
but it just,
I might have to redo my list. I'm like looking at 2024 movies, and there's things that I forgot about.
like how good or bad,
Like how good they were. Like how good they
Which
were,
one?
dude.
'Cause
Okay.
I'm curious now.
Okay. Well, let me talk about bad real quick.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what we're on.
Joker
Fall Guy was so trash, bro.
What?
So trash.
Oh, I had so much fun. It was a bad movie. This is
It's
where I
'cause
can
you're
admit a
young.
movie's bad, but it was
It's because
fun.
you're young. It's because you're young. That's why you don't remember
Really?
the Fall Guy. Yeah.
No,
The
I've
Fall
seen.
Guy
I've
with Lee
seen it.
Majors.
Oh,
It
I've
was,
seen
dude, that
it.
was so bad. It was
Um,
so bad. But Madam Web
but-
still. I think I moved Madam Web to my number 1, but Fall Guy was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a fun one. Not on my list, but fun one.
Good or bad?
Argyle. Like good. Argyle
Really?
was really good. I liked
Man,
Argyle.
I
It was
hated that
fun.
movie. I hated that
Okay.
movie.
See, that's why
It was
we're good together.
it was fighting for my like number 3 spot. I just didn't
Oh.
like. I just didn't like the like. Oh, it's him. Oh, it's him. Oh, it's him. Just kidding. It's always been her. And I was like, you're stupid. I hate this movie.
Land of Bad was really good.
Oh my
It was a
god.
fun one.
I just forgot. I know what my number 1 is. I lied. I just lied. My number 1 was the, what is it called? Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That was 2023, wasn't it?
No, I thought that was this year.
No,
Maybe it was
it's already out
2023.
on. Yeah, you have to check it. But okay. So Argyle, right? Furiosa was awesome. I
Furiosa
love
was awesome.
Furiosa.
No, it was 2020. It was 2024. Yeah,
Okay.
2024. The Ministry of
Doom
Ungentlemanly
Part
Warfare.
2 was really good.
That is in the middle of everything for me.
For me, it's like, yeah, it is. But like, the good thing is they did like more like the book, so that was really good.
Mhm.
Oh wait. I have one. Okay, like on my bad list. Like definitely, like I need to change my number 1 bad. Have you seen this? It's oh, hold on a second. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
You son of a bitch.
That shit was terrible.
That was good. That was a good bait
Proximo.
switch. That was such a
Proximo.
good bait switch.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so
number 1
so
on my
bad.
list.
God, I don't know if you
That
know
was
this
good.
movie, but it was so
But
bad.
it's so bad. Yeah, Furiosa was really good. I will say it definitely is in my top 10 for this year. I wanted a little bit more out of it and I didn't get it. But it's fine. It was still good. I still think it like held true to like this new revamp of the Mad Max series. Like I think
Yeah, it was good.
it did fine.
And I love Anna Taylor-Joy. I absolutely love her. She's great in every movie.
Speaking of Anna Taylor-Joy, 2024 movies that I thought were good until I rewatched it and realized it wasn't that good was The Menu.
What? I like The Menu. I like The
Have you
Menu a lot.
rewatched it? Have
Yeah.
you rewatched it?
watched it twice.
The rewatchability I didn't like the second time.
Yeah,
First
it
time I
doesn't
really
have
liked
much.
it. Yeah, and that's
It's
where a
kinda like
lot
The
of my
Sixth Sense.
stuff comes from. Is like I always put movies that have rewatchability, high rewatchability, pretty high on my list.
Yeah.
Which is why Deadpool is like kind of one of the perfect ones, definitely for sure. But yeah,
Then
I mean
Planet
that's
Apes.
I think that's a pretty I feel like this year as a whole for movies was weak as a whole.
I agree. Actually,
Because
I think the straight to Netflix and like Max and everything else like that movies were almost on a better scale. Like I watched what's the Sticky Stanicky or something like that, whatever
Ricky
it's called.
Stenicki.
That was a
Ricky
great
Stenicki.
movie. Great
It was the
comedy.
perfect comedy
Great
movie
comedy.
of just like, hey, you want
Yep.
potty humor for 2 hours? Got you. You
Yeah.
know? And it was good. It was good for that. Like if you thought it was going to be more substance, that's on you.
Yeah,
Because
but it was good though. I really did enjoy
yeah,
it.
it's
And
like
then
Neighbors.
I had one that's not obviously not a 2024 movie, but I watched for the first time all the way through, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Is a Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog. I
You
fell
never
in
saw that till
love.
this year?
I know I haven't. And like here's
Bruh.
the crazy thing is I'm a huge Jim Cumming fan. You know that, right? Like
Yeah,
he is the star that the mouth Matt Brady, right, could not be able to speak around him. I am like so starstruck by Jim Cummings, right? And his him playing the Firefly with the going down to Bayou, going down to Bayou. I'm not joking you. When I'm at the gym, like lifting heavy weights, people think that I'm probably listening to like Slayer or Pantera. I'm 100% listening to Going Down to the Bayou or Mama Odo singing like you gotta have more or whatever. Like it, dude. That movie was great. It was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I love that movie. It is. I think it's funny. I was just talking to some people about we were ranking like the actual scariest Disney villains because that voodoo doctor Keith David's character, like he's scary and he also bites it really scary. Like that's one of the most terrifying ways I've seen a bad guy eat it in a Disney movie.
Well, he also killed the Firefly in one of the most horrific deaths I've ever seen in an animated series of all time, dude.
It's wild. That whole movie was wild. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I think it's such a cool one. And I'm excited for the Tiana attractions to actually open up in
I've seen the preview of it and it's not good. Like and the reason why it's not good is that they didn't do it on the original storyline. And I know we're getting off topic, but they didn't do it on the original storyline. So they did it after everything had happened. Right. And so like Mama Oda shrinks you down like to the size of like an animal and you like go through it instead of it just being based on the original storyline, which would have been perfect. Like, because you could have been going down to Bayou, right? My sweet Angeline. Then you could have had like, oh, dude, it was like set up to be perfect, and then they just, cunt punted it at the end. It was terrible. Anyway,
dang it, that is
okay.
Upsetting.
All right, well,
so before you move on, I have a question. I have two movies I'd like to have your opinion on.
Here we go.
From this last year, very disparate movies. The first one, Hundreds of Beavers.
The fuck Canada shit are you watching, Oz?
I gotta look this up real quick. I've never even heard of this.
You should watch
100
that
Beavers.
One. Hundreds.
No,
of
don't
beavers.
type in 100 beavers, Bensky. Unless you're on a private.
Did that.
No. Make sure you're on a private browser.
I was not on Safe Search. What the hell is this movie?
Osby watches some crazy shit. I haven't even looked it up, but I can only imagine what this is about.
Bro, no, you can't. I'm gonna tell you right now. No, you can't.
Yeah, I bet you I can. I bet you I can.
This is not what I expected.
The second, I know it's nothing like the name. The second movie, though, I hope you've seen, Wild Robot.
Yes, I did see Wild Robot.
The fuck are you guys watching?
You didn't see Wild Robot?
Fuck no, I didn't see Wild Robot.
No. This okay. Wild Robot debatably is okay. So you know how like Disney and like DreamWorks live on these different planes. So you can't say like a DreamWorks movie is the best animated movie of all time because there's some like Disney ones that'll rival it kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to live in separate camps, kind of. Yeah, kind of sort of like you can say here's the best animated movie of all time, but like anyways, point is Wild Robots has now taken its place over Shrek for me.
Is it a cartoon?
Yes, it's an animated movie. It is. There's no part of me that was ready for an incredible story, incredible writing, incredible emotional roller coaster. I was not ready to see one of the best written movies be an animated movie about a robot.
So is this is this anime? Is this computer animation?
No, it's like computer. It's is it DreamWorks? Who did it? Was it DreamWorks? It's a DreamWorks
it's
like animated.
Oz, is this like is this like computer animated, like Toy Story computer animated, or is it like Final Fantasy computer animated?
No, it's like Toy Story.
Okay, I mean that's a good take, Oz. I mean, like the first one, a little questionable, bro.
I really want to watch it though. I definitely that might be the first thing we talk about in the first of the year next season.
Okay, is this some shit that I can stream for free? Because I feel like if I pay for 1,000 beavers or whatever the hell it is,
hundreds of beavers,
dude, like straight up, like I thought you. Never mind. People
but
like just so you guys know, his accent is UK, but obviously his movie choice is fucking Canadian. Watching hundreds of beavers.
No, I will say, Brady, highly recommend The Wild Robot.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
I think you'll really like it because you and I think at least with animated movies, you and I feel a lot similarly. You know, that's why you and I both like Wish, and other people can suck an egg on that movie,
dude, for sure, 100%.
But Wild Robots is incredible. Incredible.
I'll check it out.
Cool. All right. Well, we can move away from that. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about. Because it is the end of the year. It is December. So what are you doing for Christmas? What do you want Santa to bring you this year? What are your plans? What do you want Santa to bring? All that jazz. All of it.
Plans. So, you know, obviously well, we haven't talked. Well, you and I have talked about this, but we haven't talked about it in the podcast. So, so I am like not a my wife and I we have all the family over, right? Like so everyone. I think my oldest son Sai's not going to be able to come because of his back surgery and stuff. Because part of the reason why I was away from home for a month, and but other than that though, so other than my granddaughter and my son and his wife, we'll have everybody over to the house, and we always do like a little gift here or there for everyone, right? And then we do bingo on Christmas, right?
Oh,
and the cool thing about bingo is we do decent prizes, right? Like decent prizes for bingo, right? So we'll have like a blanket in there, or we'll have like a little cheap sound bar or speaker, or like a mobile charging device, or like might get like a personal like head scratcher and back scratcher combo or something like that. One year we did like Pyrex dishes, but we always throw in like something dope, right? And so the way our bingo works is it's bingo plus white elephant. So basically you win in bingo, and then you get to go choose a prize. And then somebody else wins bingo after you. They can take your prize, right? Or choose to open up a new one. But if somebody steals your prize, the prize can only be stolen once. So just
is it once period or once per round?
No, once period. Done. It's it, right? So because Shannon and I, and you know this about me, love to create chaos in beautiful moments, right? Naturally. We always throw something in that's like extremely awesome. So 2 years ago, we had an Xbox Series S in it. Right?
Shout out Xbox.
So last year, we had a Nintendo OLED, Switch OLED in it. Right.
Over for
and
Christmas.
This year, I can't tell you what it's going to be, but our favorite part is somebody will win it and be like, yeah, sweet, I got this Xbox. Next person steals it right away, dude, and gets to keep it. Now, the funniest part about this whole thing is both times have been my son Cyrus that has gotten it. Right. And so everybody's like so happy. Like it's so petty, but like everybody's so happy that Cyrus is not going to be here this year. Right.
I get it.
And so originally we thought that we were going to like play a joke on everybody and not have like the cool prize.
Oh, that's so funny. You should just like tell everybody you gave it to Cyrus. We were going to put this in here, but we just gave it to Cyrus.
So that's like our plan, and we just do it up big, and we just spend like family time together, and we play video games, and we play. By the way, that shout out to that new Mario. That new Mario Party is awesome. Jamboree.
Oh, is it good?
Great game.
Okay,
great game. You should get it. And
I can say this because my son doesn't listen to the podcast. We got that for my son. So
Oh, sweet. So we can play it then because it works online now. So you and I could play it, dude. That'd be dope.
Bro,
And then
I'm here.
anyways, and I'm really good at it, by the way. And then so what I want for Christmas? What do I want for Christmas? Oh, I want those tickle pickles. I do want those tickle pickles for sure.
Oh, bro, it's funny. I'm so glad you asked because I was like, I've wanted to know. So I got them all. I got all the files this morning. So
yeah, I got them too, but like I got to get around to printing them. But like, dude, those tickle pickles. Okay, so do you want to explain what? Do you want to explain to people what those are? Do you want to touch my pickle? Do you want to touch my pickle? I was like, oh my god!
So somebody created these really hilarious. So these pickles, and the pickles they're 3D printed. They have a hinged jaw, and what's really fun is like if you have the pickle and you press on the back end of the pickle, the jaw opens up. And so this creator also created it so that you can have this box of pickles. There's 3 pickles that you can see, and there's a mystery pickle. But what's great is on the underside of the box, there's a hole where you can stick your finger in there and press it up and down and make the pickle talk. And so people have been going absolutely crazy with different sounds. You like do you want to see my pickle sound on TikTok is going around. It's hilarious. But it's a cool print, like functionally awesome print because it's print in place, which is so cool. But yeah, once I saw that and you had said that too, I was like, oh, thank God. Like I
know that like you're definitely setting your brand up for like for other brands to sponsor and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. I just post whatever. And so like if it's about a tickle pickle, I'm gonna post like, hey, somebody tell me about these tickle pickles. So yeah, no doubt.
Like, here we go.
I would say though, like I would say if I had my true Christmas wish, and I thought I was going to be able to buy it, but it's not out yet. Is I really thought DJI was going to come out with their 360 cam. I'm like super disappointed that it didn't come out. So I think it's going to come out like first quarter next year. And I was like, that's like, so I'm going to save my Christmas for that because I want to get it before I go to Hawaii.
I got you,
Murph again.
Yeah. So bitch.
When's your Murph again? I just need to make sure I schedule Hawaii around it.
Make sure you go to Hawaii during it. I hope this comes out. This is gonna come out soon so people can be like, I can't believe he's not going. And I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut after that. I don't know what I want. You know, I'm such a hard person to get presents for. I guess all I really want is I want to upgrade my phone. That's really all I actually want.
I want you to upgrade your phone.
I know. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which isn't like bad. It's not a bad phone. I really want the 16 Pro Max. I just want to be able to. I've been utilizing Apple Intelligence on my iPad and on my MacBook, and it is incredible. I don't know if you've messed around a lot with it. But I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed that Siri actually feels like a useful assistant now versus just like, hey, what's this mean? It's like, I found it on the web. It's like, thanks. I could have done that, but all right. And I'm really liking the addition to like the keyboard to be able to help write things better. It's just been great for what I can use it for. So that's the big reason. But yeah, I mean, I would really like some kind of camera for social media. I really kind of want to revisit getting the Osmo Pocket 3, a lot. And that might be my next move. I think part of it is because like I do so much on my phone business wise that it's hard to be in an environment where I need to do the whole, like always be recording kind of scenario because they're not separate for me. And so I would really like to have something like the Pocket 3 where I can not have to worry about that.
I personally don't think it gets better than that camera.
No, I mean, between you and a couple other people, I'm not sure there is a better one. I mean, I'm sure there is, but for like 400 times the cost, kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing though. Right now I'm on like a Sony EV10 that I've like completely modded out to be like a cinema rig. Right. And so realistically, I'm probably talking about 2-3 times the cost of Osmo Pocket, right? Just the lens alone, I could have bought a Pocket. I don't know, man. Like it's, I mean, the video's quality is good, right? But like,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, I feel like my Pocket was just. I mean, if you go back to episode 1, 2, I shot those on the Pocket. And matter of
Yeah,
fact,
right.
where was the one that I was that the last one that I did with the Captain America shirt?
Yeah, that was on a Pocket because you were in a different room.
Yeah, it was on the
of,
Pocket. Yeah,
yeah,
it was great.
because you had
Dude,
people over.
I swear to you, I would leave my house without my phone before I left my house without that camera. I'm dead serious.
Oh yeah, no, I believe you, and I'm sure I would be the same way if I had one. But that it just I've been moving a lot more over to YouTube, and I've really actually enjoyed being on YouTube versus TikTok, and I just need something better because right now I have the Elgato like face cam, but it's a webcam, so I can't really. It's not as mobile, It's things I have to make sure it's long enough to be hooked up to my computer and stuff.
Isn't that where we're at right now? We're on YouTube, right? And we're
yeah. I mean, the basically Bensky YouTube channel. Subscribe,
okay.
Please.
I've done nothing with my YouTube channel. But dude, I gotta tell you real quick. I wanted to give you like a mass compliment back when we were in the green room, like setting up. Is that camera of yours was straight trash when you were on it originally, right? But then when you turned the app on, holy shit, that camera woke up. I was like, whoa, what a difference.
Yeah, it's funny because I bought it because it was highly rated. I even think Oz might have said this was one of the options that I should get. And I remember getting it. I was like, I don't understand this. And then, Oz was like, download the app, dummy. And I was like, oh.
Dude, and it woke right up. That was so crazy.
Dude, woke up, yeah.
Like,
and now it's funny because you and people, I don't know if people know this or not. I'm not tech savvy when it comes to knowing like exposures and iOS or ISO or whatever you guys were all talking about, ISOs, all that stuff. It's crazy because you were saying stuff and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And but I was like moving it and I was like, this looks so cool. But I hope to get to that point where I can understand that kind of lingo and stuff like that. But instead I just go off of what it looks like and I'm like, oh, this looks great. Like, so let's move forward. Because people, I remember that was the whole big thing. Like when I was really heavy into TikTok promoting items, a lot of people were like, dude, what the hell are you shooting on? How are you editing this? And I was like, oh, iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm editing in CapCut. Because I can obviously look at something and know when it looks good, but fuck if I know anything about what the actual things are.
So when you get a Osmo, without going like too nerdy on it, like when you get an Osmo, basically what you'll do is you'll shoot in this thing called D-Log, right? And in D-Log, what's going to happen is that everything's going to look almost black and white. Right. And here's the funny thing is, that I'm going to put it out here. Am I boring you, motherfucker?
Wake up, dude. I haven't slept in like 4 days, dude.
Take like a drink of your like Aulani or whatever the hell it is.
Alani New.
Anyways, you're gonna shoot it in D-Log, which almost is gonna feel black and white, right? Everything's gonna be washed out, and then when you bring it into a video editor and you color grade your video, right? You're gonna bring it back to life in the way that you want to, and it's amazing, dude. So like,
what's crazy about what you just said was I know all the words you said were words, but I know nothing about what you just said. I was like, what the fuck? I know color. Yeah. I am a person of color.
We know that. Like, a matter of fact, actually, real quick, funny thing about before this podcast, right, is that we had to make sure that we adjusted Bensky's lighting because eventually Bensky came off looking very white, and we need diversity to be able to be pushed out on social media.
Yeah, exactly. We need to make sure everybody knows we're inclusive. Holy hell.
So all right. So outside of cameras, what is your number one hot take for 2024, man? I'm curious to know what it is. Do you know?
I do. I have a few of my hottest takes for 2024. I think because there's a couple of them that are super spicy, and I don't know that we're popular enough to talk about that.
Yes, we are. Let's do it. I'm down. Or we just burn the bitch down to the ground. I don't care.
That's true. Hey, that's my line.
No, it's true.
My absolute hottest take of 2024. Actually, this one's not too spicy. Because it's been really prevalent, I think, this year for some reason. Android users and PC users need to realize they've lost. And they've lost hard. And
Ooh.
the only reason it's alive is because they're keeping it alive, but it is on life support. It needs to die, and you just need to get over it. I think the thing is that Apple has decided that they understand that they used to be very um, niche, but now, especially with somebody like me who has, I have the MacBook M3 Pro, and I just there's nothing this can't do. It can game without overheating. It can game in great quality. It can edit my videos. It can do everything I need it to do, and I didn't have to build it. I won't have to upgrade it for a little bit. I mean, not any more naturally than I'll have to upgrade other things. Yes, it was pricier, but like the thing is I don't know anybody who's built a PC for less than what I bought this MacBook for.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I don't really think in the end it's that much pricier because, like,
No, and like PC
really
people
not.
are always going to be like, "Oh no, I can build it cheaper." Yeah, but you're not going to leave. I know,
but you're
all
not
of
going
you,
to though.
and you're not going to leave it that way. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like
Right,
I
you're
don't
not going
care
to.
that the capability's there. I could go buy a cheaper iPhone. But like honestly, like I think the phone game, like you know why I know that Android's losing and all these other companies are losing, because they have to keep innovating new ridiculous gimmicky things to pretend to stay relevant. Nobody wants a folding phone. I'm sorry, they don't actually want that.
If they had a
I,
folding iPhone with a glass screen, bro,
I wouldn't do it, dude. I don't want.
I think I
I've
would.
not seen one of those that doesn't have a crease down the center
I'm
wherever
okay
it
with the
folds.
crease.
I don't
I'm
want
okay
it,
with the
dude.
crease
I don't want it.
because
I
you
don't
know,
want it.
realistically, like I want to get to a point where I don't take my phone out of my pocket. Like I was really really excited for the pin that projects it out onto your hand.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Because then I would never take my phone out of my pocket. Like that would
yeah.
be awesome. Like it'd be
Yeah.
amazing. But anyway,
But that's the thing, is like the integration, the ecosystem of Apple, it's just better. And I feel like if anyone there's going to be people in our group that are going to be upset at me for saying
I'm
this,
sure.
but you guys know I love you. I do think that if you are this like diehard, no, I love Android for XYZ, it's bullshit fake reasons. Nobody actually cares about customizing XYZ thing on your home screen. Who gives a shit? Just change your wallpaper and get over it. It's a phone,
I think there's nothing that an Android does now that an iPhone doesn't. Don't get me wrong; it took Apple a little while to catch up, but they also won't release something until it's mastered, and that's I think the biggest difference is, except for the phone fucking. Like Apples don't phone fuck.
Well, they do
For
now.
power? No, they don't.
For power. Yeah. No,
like Samsung, the phones can fuck, right? Like, and they can give each other power. But
give me power.
Give me power. I'm plugged into a genius.
Right. But other than that, they don't really do anything. And like the thing is like, it's just one of those things where like life would just be easier if everyone just shut up and got one. But like, also obviously diversity is a good thing. We need it.
People
I just
like what they like.
But like,
right?
yeah, for some reason I feel like this year was really like, I just heard the Android people come out of the woodwork a lot this year, and I don't know why. And so it was just like, my hot take was just like, shut up, Apple's better. You know it, but you don't want to admit it.
I think there's probably arguments on both sides, but I agree with you that Apple is better, like across the board. Like I have to replace a laptop like every 7 years with Apple. Like I'm on an M1 Pro right now, and I know for a fact I'm not going to have to replace this PC or this Mac until at least 2 years from now. At least 2 years from now.
Right.
And I bought this when it first came out, right? Like, and it's small, sleek, and I'm not going to lie, dude. And here's the thing: I don't give a shit what anybody says. Apple products are sexy.
They're so sexy, dude.
They're sexy, bro. Like I don't give a shit what anybody says. The all metal frame of a MacBook Pro is by far what all PC manufacturers have tried to get to, and the Surface and everything else like that. I'm like, dude, MacBook Pros are sexy looking. iPad Pros are sexy looking. Mm-hmm. They're just sexy. They're just sexy.
Dude, iPads in general, sexy.
Yeah, 100%. Now I will say though, one thing I will say about Apple opposed to like say Samsung or like even like Google, Apple cannot make a damn accessory to save their lives, dude.
No,
They're
they can't.
horrible,
Their
except for AirPod
case is
Pros.
stuck.
AirPod Pros are
Yeah.
good, right?
Dude,
But
the
other
AirPod,
than that, though,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the mouse, this shit is terrible. Like it is terrible.
That's why we have the Gravistar.
I know, it's true.
M1.
The keyboard's terrible, right? The keyboard's
the
terrible.
keyboards are bad, but I like it. I do like typing on it.
No, I want a mechanical keyboard, right? And then on top of that, like regular AirPods are straight shit. They just fall out of your ear all the time, right?
Have you tried the new 4s, the AirPods Pro 4s?
I think the functionality is great, but they still fall out of your ear.
Oh, interesting. See, they fit. They are perfect for me.
You must have like
the
big
marshmallow
mongoloid ears. Or
I
something
do.
like that.
I do. See, because the like AirPod Pros with the marshmallows, I couldn't find any of the ones that fit right, where they would just pop out. But like, man, I put those 4s in. But that's the thing, is they have like 4 different options for people, and you're gonna find the ones that fit.
It's true.
But the Maxes are good too.
The Maxes are great, except for they're just heavy as shit. That's the
problem.
Have
a fucking off button. Like, what
they
the
don't
hell
have
is
an
that?
off button. Who the fuck came up with it? You know, who sat around? And the funny thing is, I'm a project manager by trade, right? And like, who the fuck sat around and made this huge project of making AirPod Maxes and said, you know what we should do? Not put an off button.
Yeah. And then they were like, hey guys, we should make the AirPod Max 2s. And you know what? Let's not get an off button again. It was like, what the fuck, guys?
Dude, it was bad. But that was bad.
Anyways, what about what's one of your hottest takes from 2024?
I would say like my overall hottest take that we haven't spoke about on the podcast is like the 2024 mass fake fucking outrage. I am so over it, dude. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that because I'm trying to stay off of it because I said I'm moving on. But the fake fucking outrage of 2024 just absolutely, I mean, it just really put me in a bad place. Like it's this whole thing of like, I am a certain way, or I've been a certain way, and this has always been a thing. But now all of a sudden, like I'm outraged by it. It just like Disney was a big one. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Like, so like to give you an example, and I'm not calling people out for this, right? But for this like new thing, like I travel a lot, right? And I go to theme parks a lot. And this new, and again, I hope that people are happy at any size that they are, right? And I don't accuse people of being unhealthy or anything else like that. Sure. But this new thing of like people being larger than I would say normal, right?
Sure.
Expecting to be accommodated on like planes.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's crazy to me, dude. I'm a big guy long wise, right? And if I buy an economy seat, I know I'm going to be uncomfortable. I know I'm going to have my knees wrapped up around my neck. I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, and I don't demand the airline to accommodate me, right? And these people are just doing videos and just like going crazy about this thing, right? Going absolutely nuts about it. And I'm just it's beyond reason for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, and I'm a bigger guy, right? I'm part of the bigger guys where, one of the hardest things when I went on my honeymoon to Universal was at that time too. I was like 60 pounds heavier than I was now. I couldn't fit on literally half of the rides, but nothing crossed my mind to say I should be outraged that they're not accommodating me. Because like the thing is like I genuinely I think it's the same thing. And maybe some people will be like, oh, it's a hyperbole, it's dumb, it's a false equivalency. First of all, if you ever look at me and say it's a false equivalency, you're letting me know you've lost the argument. But anyways, I think it's the same as going to, like, if you were going to go to a chocolate restaurant and you are allergic to chocolate and demanding that they accommodate you, shut up.
Right.
Like,
it doesn't make sense.
There is a time and a place for everything. There are places that have certain things on purpose, and there's certain places that don't. And there are places that try to accommodate people or find middle grounds. And the thing is not everywhere has to accommodate you. They just don't.
Well, but here's the thing, goes. I could even agree of being outraged on something that goes out of their way not to accommodate somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
I mean,
yeah.
like,
If it's
okay,
like,
hey, we're not putting a ramp up to our building. There's no way for somebody in a wheelchair to get into our building, right?
yeah,
Like
or if they even
get
like,
that.
if it was like, hey, we're gonna have this, not to be mean towards bigger people. I'm a big guy, so I can say it. But
I
it's like
mean,
if you had a buffet and they had a slit where it's like you can only get in here through this slit. It's like,
get
bro,
your
like,
fingers in.
yeah. But like, it's like that would be wrong. And I would be like, hey, that's stupid. But yeah, no, I mean, like, if it's, especially if it's a common thing, like an
Yeah.
airplane, like, sorry, not sorry, like,
Well, and it's not just
sucks,
limited
suck.
to that, right? I just was using
Yeah.
that as an example, but
No,
it's
sure.
it's a kind of across the board, right? It's like people bitching about lines at Walmart, or people bitching about lines at Disney. That was a big one that went on for like a long time. People were like, "Oh, I can't believe I had to wait 15 minutes to get on Rise of Resistance." I'm like, I can't believe you found a time where you only had to wait 15 minutes for
Wait,
Rise of
15
Resistance,
minutes. Yeah.
dude. Right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
No,
just shit like that,
yeah.
it just is wild to me. And then like on top of that, then it's crazy that like people will come out and like make these like controversial and again, I'm not talking about the situation, right? Because I think that one
Sure.
just caught me. That you've seen.
Mhm.
But like the other thing is though, is that people are just coming out of the woodwork to like pick a fight with everybody and then
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I cannot believe everybody now is messaging me bad things," right? Like they come out and
Yeah.
say, "You know what? I like fuck dogs. I hate dogs. Dogs are the
Yeah.
worst animal on the planet. They should all be killed,"
Yeah.
right? So they make a video
Mhm.
like that, and then they turn right around and go, "I can't believe all these dog lovers are saying that I'm a terrible person." It's
Yeah.
like, what in the fuck are you talking about,
I
dude?
think,
Like,
yeah.
oh, it's the worst. It's just the
Well, I
worst.
think what happened is a lot of people on social media, especially, saw that there were controversial creators and were like, "Hey, I should do that and it'll work."
Mhm.
And what they didn't realize were a couple things. One, some of these controversial creators, that's what they've always done, but they also are not those people in real life, and they know how to turn it on and off. And they know how to handle it. And then the other thing is sometimes it's fake. But what happens, I think, some people come in and they're like, I can be controversial because this is something I believe in, and it's like, stop. You should not have put actual skin in the game because it's not going to end up the way you think it's going to.
It's true,
Um,
right? And the funny thing
yeah.
is that you know me, you know my content, and anybody listening, if
Mhm.
you've seen my content, I am controversial, right? There's
Yeah.
not many subjects that I won't touch, right? There's not many
Mhm.
subjects I won't touch. I really stay away from politics is the one that I really stay away from, right? But
Right.
other than
Yeah.
that, though, I'm gonna say what I want to say. I don't give a fuck. And I will say this too, is that bitch, seriously,
It's
quit
not. It's not
complaining,
you. It's
dog.
not you.
What the fuck? Let's say a
Sorry.
controversial opinion here. No, but no, like here's the funny thing is, and you guys know my rule, right? And I think this is what makes me not brand friendly. It doesn't make me brand friendly is the fact that I will never apologize for a video. I will never take a video down. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. And I will never block someone. Ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever across the board.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why I do that is because you're going to get the real me. And I always say this, like
Yeah.
when there's people that are racist, when there's people that are bigots, when there are people that are just complete pieces of shit, I would rather know who they are, right?
Yeah.
By them like just blasting me with shit and hate and everything else like that.
Mhm.
Plus it's free engagement. Let's be real. I was just talking to talking to another creator that was just getting all this hate on his page, and I was like, dude, it's just free engagement. Just like reply to a few videos and then just stop when you're bored. But the other thing is
Yeah.
the other thing for me on controversial opinions are like, do you not think that I haven't been doxxed like multiple times?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you know I have, right? Like I've gotten
Mhm.
packages of house and shit, right? There's no call
Mhm.
for it, but at the same time, I'm armored when I make a controversial opinion. I'm armored for it. I know it's coming. Like I know
Yeah.
it's coming. I don't care, right? So
Yeah.
that's why and my favorite thing about controversial opinions, and I think this is where people miss it in social media, is that you need to
Mhm.
make a controversial opinion and then you need to have a conversation about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
And
that's
that's the
the
thing
thing.
is like, and like and anyone who knows me outside of TikTok knows that like I'm also that way. Again, I am just trying to build a brand a certain way.
Sure.
But like, no, I'm the same way where it's like I will bring something up, but then I want to talk about it. I want to, I had opinions about the same thing you had opinions on with everything on TikTok, but I kept it to myself. I was just like, I'm just gonna, and that was just for me. But like, yeah, I won't blocking somebody. So I don't know.
It's a bitch move,
I
dude. I'm
won't do
sorry.
it.
It's a
Yeah,
bitch move. It's a bitch
I
move.
won't do it either. Because like it doesn't matter. I can just scroll. It takes just as much effort to just scroll past a video of somebody I don't like as it is to just, I don't know, like watch it. I don't know.
And if you quick scroll past it, by the way, after a couple scrolls, it's not going to give it to you anymore. It's
Right.
how the
Yeah.
algorithm works.
That's the thing. But yeah, I don't know why this year people were really, actually I do know why, or at least partially why, but like it just felt like a lot of people really wanted to be, I guess the best way I could put it is it felt like a lot of people wanted to be heard that were never not heard. You know, like
That's actually a really
like
good
it's
take.
like, yeah, it's I think that's the takeaway from it is like people were just like, blah blah blah. It's like we've been hearing you this whole time, you know, like
You know the one I won't listen to though ever, and I'll never respond back besides just some kind of smart ass remark is private accounts. Private accounts, you know, that just bugs the hell out of me. Where people are like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot, you turd," and I'm like, "You're a private account. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares who you.
Nobody
are.
cares about you. You're ineffectual in life and in social media. Get fucked."
Yeah, I wish people were just more willing to have a conversation. I think the thing I hate hearing the most is when people are like, when they're like, "Why would you want to be friends with me if we disagree?" It's like because I'm a human. Like, because to me, disagreeing on political views is the same as when somebody doesn't like cheeseburgers, but I do. Like, they literally feel the same to me. Like, I can be friends with you if you don't like a food group that I love. And it's, to me, politics are the same way. Like, I don't care what you believe in because it's, to me, it's the same thing. And
I think there's a point. I think I agree with you, but I think there's a point to where, and it's not political, but like if somebody comes out of like left field with some like kind of crazy ass thing, right?
Sure.
Like
But
great example.
then,
Like if
though,
somebody said like, "I can't believe you're friends with someone because they're this," right? And you're a piece of shit, blah, 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 right? Like, so realistically, I didn't block anybody, but I just stopped associating with people with that controversial video I did a couple months back, right? Because of the month and the helmet that I did, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Brady, a couple months ago, controversial video. You gotta have to narrow that down.
Yeah, no, I know. I have a few. I have a lot. No, like when I made that helmet, right? And for anybody watching, I'll talk about it. Like I made a Pride inspired Deadpool helmet, right? And I got out of the woodworks. I mean, like I was sitting back laughing of everyone exposing themselves for being like horrific bigots, right? Like, I understand if you don't believe in the lifestyle, understand if you do believe in the lifestyle, but to come out and say the horrific things that people were saying, right? Horrific things. And then people were doubling down on them too, right? And then when I would snap back, they would go, "Oh, I can't believe Brady made me cancel my account." I'm like, "I never made you cancel your account. I never made you cancel your account. I never made you get off social media. You did it to yourself when you came out and said crazy stuff, dude. Like, wild, crazy stuff.
Oh, there's some,
like,
there's some stuff you showed me that was
all
just like
F words
unreal.
should die. And like, dude, what the world? Like, disagree, fine, but like, anyway, no. So that's probably my.
I guess you're right. There's a point where it's like, okay, I can disagree with you and be friends with you, but that was kind of what we talked about earlier. If you're going to be racist and you're going to be a bigot, no, I'm not going to be friends with you. But like, and I hate that people. Yeah, but I hate that people associate things with that. They're like, "Oh, well, if you voted this way, that means X." It's like, nope.
Oh God,
no, it does not.
Insufferable.
Yeah, that's the point. Now, I don't like.
Now, so I think we can agree on both of our hot takes, right? But I will say this though, my number one hot take of 2024, and I wish I could see Oz right now. I want to see Oz. My number one hot take. Oh, there he is.
I swear to God, if you talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes right now, I'm gonna punch you through the screen.
No, I'm not going to. My number one hot take of 2024 is that George Clooney is the worst fucking Batman on the planet. And
you mother,
dude, it is the fucking worst. Are you serious right now? Batman with the nipples and the fucking. And by the way, I went and rewatched it just to rewatch it, right? Because I was on planes all the time, so I like downloaded the shit and rewatched it, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what the fuck you were talking about as far as storyline or anything else like that. The movie was horrible. He was a horrible Batman. You just have some kind of thing about Clooney because that's the only other reason to like him. Because I'm going to say this right now. Kilmer was a better Batman than Clooney was. Straight up. I watched all of them again. And my hot take is that he literally is the worst Batman ever. Period. Including the kid from Gotham. And he sucks, by the way. Whew. Okay. I feel much better now.
Well,
Whoa.
I did. I honestly was like, I was ready for it. I was ready. I was like, you son of a bitch. Okay. Look.
Oh, and Aquaman sucks too, by the way.
Friends. You're just having a day, aren't you?
Oh
just
God,
your
take on superheroes is just shitty.
No, there's just look, here's the deal. I'm an informed individual who has my own opinion. I don't let people tell me what to think, you know?
Why don't you just go dry brush your rub and buff, bro? How about that?
Make
By the way,
print super hard.
Real fun. Look at this. I don't know if it'll.
Hey, you got some rub and buff.
Yeah, I found a bottle of it laying on my desk, dude.
There you
By the
go.
way, I would just want to point out it's unopened. I have been rubbing buffing this entire episode.
I've been rubbing buffing this whole time, so that's hilarious. I think my unrelated hot take that maybe you don't know either for 2024 is that I am done. I will watch them. So when I say I'm done, I mean I will never hype it up with live action remakes of animated movies. I'm done. I'm just done.
Ooh.
I'm done. I'm done.
Really?
How to Train Your Dragon looks so bad.
It does. Moana looks
reasons.
good though. Moana looks good. Moana looks good.
I don't care anymore.
And if
I
they
don't
go
care
with
anymore.
Really?
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
Is it
the
just
only one
movies
that-
though? Is it just movies?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, okay, so like I know you're not a big anime person, right? Like I know you're not like big anime. But like, have you watched like One Piece? One Piece, the show is great. It's great.
One Piece of show was fun. I really liked it. It didn't make me want to watch the animated more.
But you don't like anime.
But
anyway.
it was good. That's true. No, I mean the thing is like the fact that Toothless in the trailer for How to Train Your Dragon somehow looked exactly the same as he did in the movie was weird to me.
Yeah.
Also, like, weird hot take. Hiccup was like way too hot, like in the live action remake. Like he needed to be like an acne ridden weirdo. But
so then you're not going to watch Transformers then anymore? If they come out with a new Transformers?
If they come out,
bitch, I
if
got
Michael Bay, you're right. If Michael Bay does a Transformers movie again, okay. Can we talk about this real quick? I heard somebody say this, and I think I agree with it. Has there ever been a more photogenic, attractive human that we got in a movie than Megan Fox in that first Transformer movie? Like,
okay,
she generally to me isn't as attractive, like in general. However, when she opens up the hood in that movie,
that was a good part,
bro. That shot, like, has anyone ever been that hot in a movie ever?
Bro, I'm gonna have to say that Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman, bro, was like
I thought about that because the Amazonian women's actually really do it for me in that whole when those two are holding up the wall when it's coming down in Justice League or whatever. I was like, those women, but I still you watch her open that hood for that first time. You're like,
it was pretty good.
Good Lord. Lord.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're
God, our wives are gonna hate us for this.
No,
episode.
because I say stuff like that to my wife all the time.
I do too. But
because
I'm really laying it on thick.
Oh God, from Fast Times, yeah. I mean, yeah,
that's a good one. That is a good one.
That's a really good one.
We might have to study up.
Wait a minute.
Year.
Hey, Oz, real quick. What about Jennifer Connelly in that movie about where they got trapped in Target? What was the name of that movie? Like, like they got trapped in Target and she was riding the penny horse. Jennifer Connelly. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good movie.
We have
too.
a weird list that we're gonna come up with.
Okay, now, but real quick though, while
year.
Oz is looking this up, because I'm sure he's looking it up. Real quick, have you watched Landman yet?
No.
Oh,
it's on my list.
Okay,
it's
so do you know who Ali Larter is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ali Larter, dude, this is such a crazy thing to say, but like Ali Larter, I never thought she was that attractive, like in Varsity Blues when she wore like the whipped cream bikini and stuff like that.
Sure,
I never thought she was, right?
Yeah.
And I always thought she was kind of like a pouchy belly and stuff. That woman has gotten hotter and hotter and hotter as she has gotten older. And in Landman, she is absolutely I mean, the part that she plays is gross, but the part that she plays is gross, right? The part she played is gross, but at the same time, she absolutely is strikingly gorgeous now. It's absurd. Okay, so back to Oz. Oz, Locked in Target. Is that what the name of it is?
It's just called Locked in Target.
But Jennifer Connelly killed it in that movie. Killed it in that movie.
Oh my god! I gotta rewatch that too because I do remember that.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly. But I mean, I kind of got to give it to you. I mean,
dude, it's hard because
I mean, could Pam Anderson running down the beach be part of that?
They're good again, but like, there's just something about the way it was just because it was shot so well that for that split second, she was the most attractive person that's ever existed. For a split, split second.
She is.
It could be the Cars thing.
Yeah, that's true too, right? But Megan Fox is very pretty. And like, have you seen Subservient yet?
No, I want to.
Oh, don't see Subservient. If you like Megan Fox, dude, don't. You're gonna watch that robot.
I want it to be bad.
No, it's good. It's really good.
Oh, is it good?
It's like
no, it's really funny because I have you seen that Reddit thread that's like shitty movie plots described, and it was like, but like the way they do it is like, did you know that like Megan Fox had to get plastic surgery in Subservient to look more human? It's like they're like weird takes that are like,
no, funny. Like I would say that like it's predictable, right? Like it's very predictable.
Megan was predictable, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. Did you? Oh yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So I probably I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I guess that's a good take for 2025. And by the way, real quick, I know we talked about pet peeves one time. Please remember that one of my pet peeves that we have talked about personally, but not on the podcast, is when fucking people say, "I'll see you next year."
Yeah, I'll see you next year.
Oh God, it's the worst. I fucking hate you. God.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're this is one of our longer ones, and that's totally fine. But we should probably start wrapping up things. But let's just talk about a couple of the life changes that have happened for both of us. But because of those life changes, like what are you looking forward to the most in 2025?
I'm really, so I just started a new position, so I'm like really happy about that. But I don't talk about like where I work, but I get to be like super creative. Like weirdly enough, I was shooting social media videos today and stuff like that. So like it was super dope. And I'm like really looking forward to 2025 being like happy of going to work. I'm also like, I know this is gonna sound strange, but like half the time now I'm going into the office and I'm actually happy about and this is going to sound weird, but until I explain it, is that I'm really happy about going into the office and having time away from my wife, right? So I can really enjoy the time that we're home, because like I was home so much that it just kind of became
normalized.
Just normalized that we're just around each other all the time. And so like I would find both of us sitting in the living room just watching TikTok or something like that, right? Where now like I'll like rush to do some content, edit it real quick, and then like run upstairs to like actually spend time with my wife. So I'm looking forward to that. Awesome. And family. That's then definitely traveling for personal reasons next year more, and like really trying to like be in the moment and be in the experience. And Remurf. I'm looking really forward to Remurf and actually seeing you in IRL, by the way.
I know, it'll be super fun. I'm hoping my wife will be there. We're not sure if she's going to come yet, but we'll find out.
I can promise you my wife will not be there because she won't be there. But I'll be there, and the 3D Brady will be there. So that'll be cool.
Yeah,
and Yeah, that'll be really neat, and it'll be nice to have our whole group there too. Maybe we just shoot a live
It'll
podcast.
be Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I think that'll be
Really
a lot
cool.
of fun. I'm also looking forward to Remurf. I'll be there with new makers again, kind of, just like kind of there and helping them out, but also just be able to be around, which is really good. I've been really grateful for my relationship with them, because I think I don't know that I would be in a lot of the positions I'm in right now with social media if it wasn't for them kind of helping me along with a lot of things. And I'm just really, really grateful that
That's cool.
they
That's rad.
want me around. Yeah. Yeah. Major life changes for me. I don't actually really know. I'm going to be honest with you. And I haven't really talked to you about this at all. I don't know what the future holds with me at like my full-time job. Our company got bought out. It's been really rocky. They just put out a notice that they want, like 100 more people to quit. And they're like incentivizing people to quit with like $1,000 kind of thing. But like a lot of people aren't taking it, which means they're going to start looking at where they can cut fat. And unfortunately, I am one of the higher paid people there.
Yeah, that's always scary.
And there is an argument that, what I do is redundant. I know that I'm the beginning of the redundancy and people behind me are actually what's redundant, but I'm paid really well. But on the flip side of that, the 3D business is doing really well. We're doing really
Good.
well at shows and markets. We're pushing a lot. I don't sleep a lot right now.
Yeah,
but
no
I'm
shit.
doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it because I have the vision of what this can turn into down the line, and I'm trying to get more into social media with YouTube because the monetizing is just better than TikTok and things like that. And so what I'm really looking forward to next year is hopefully the freedom of stepping away from a full-time job that way.
Yeah, that'd be so
in the
rad.
sense that like, yeah, I really hope I can do that. Because what is nice though is the alternative is if I stick with where I'm at in a full-time position, I'm actually in a similar boat with where you were at, where it's like, ooh, it's either jump ship or like see if I'm gonna
Yep.
get into a good spot. And honestly, I do believe that if I stick where I'm at and I can prove out some things, I'll actually be in a very similar position as you of like, hey, this panned out really well. Which would be great because that would equal more freedom. I also want to travel more. I cannot express how addicted I am to Disney. I went for the first time in my entire life.
It's so good. We should meet up in Disney, by the way.
Brady, stop.
I'm down.
I can't tell you how bad I want to do that.
Well, and here's the thing too. We need to meet up at the Universal, and this is something we need to talk to Oz about, and our friend group, and probably like real quick, like make it, and Try Not and Kevlock and like people that we're friends with outside of all of this is meet up at that Universal Orlando Informer at Universal Studio.
Oh man, that would be so much fun.
It's all you can eat food,
like
all you butter beer you can drink, and it is just no lines for everything.
Yeah. And I think something like that would just be killer.
Well, I think we should just do like a video campaign, as long as like TikTok sticks around, is that we do a video campaign where we just blow up one video for each person and then we're net zero to go.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Be rad, dude.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think those are the big things I'm looking forward to because I do, unfortunately right now I work full time. I come home, spend time with the wife and kids, and then I'm working on the business full time. And so I don't have a lot of time with my family. So I'm hoping that things can pan out that I can spend more time with my family. I really, as you guys know, or if you don't know, this is the first time you're listening to this podcast, I married into a family. My wife was a widow. She had 2 kids, and now they are our kids. And I love my son and my daughter with all of my heart. I love spending time with them, and I want to spend as much time with them as humanly possible. And so that's why I want to create the freedom of that through my business. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to the most. And obviously meeting you at Murph and stuff. So but yeah, man, it's been a wild year. We started this podcast, I'm hoping, and I know we will work out way more kinks down the line so that we can be really on top of this.
I'll tell more of my kinks just for future.
No,
I'm just kidding. No, I feel you. Like I'm looking forward to, I am setting a goal of next year that 2025 that we do 150 episodes.
Ooh, baby. Let's do it.
150
Let's do
episodes.
it.
That's less than 2 a
Yeah.
week.
You're right.
That's less than 2 a month. I mean, or not 2 a month, but that's less than. Well, okay, hold on a second here. 365.
It's 2 a month.
No. I don't want to do 150. Hold on a second. I did bad math. Hold on a second here.
Well,
So
52 weeks,
52.
once a year.
So I want to do at least. What do you think is a good goal? Like 20?
I think 50.
50.
I think 50
Well,
is a good goal.
That's one every
because
week.
we can record. Oh, that's right. Sorry, not 50.
So like
Jeez,
25.
You're right. You
We
did.
can
I
do
just
like
did the same
25,
thing
26.
you did.
Yeah, we could do
25.
26.
Yeah, 25, 26, 26. Yeah, I think 26 is a good goal. 100.
Oz, are you down for that
Yeah.
goal? Are you ready to
He's
listen
like,
to us
not 100,
26
not
times?
120.
Sure, I'm ready.
Okay,
All right.
and then hey, before we end, Oz, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I want to thank you for everything that you do for the Basically Us podcast. You've been not only a friend but a mentor, and you have put up with our schedules, us being flaky on you, and you kept us motivated through this whole process. And so we got through 2024. And the other thing too, man, it's like you were just always somebody there when we just needed somebody like that was completely unbiased to just be able to be sad with or vulnerable with. You were always there. And so I want to thank you for all your efforts. And my thank you can't mean enough to actually tell people how great of a person you are.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Merry
No,
Christmas.
and like seriously, on top of that, like I think I value our green room time a little bit more than anything. Like our post and pre green room time is just some of the best conversations we have. So yeah, Oz, seriously, thank you so much. And I guess this is our wrap up. This is our wrap up for this season. You can look us up. Brady and I both have social media outside of the podcast. And seriously, actually, real quick, everyone who's listening to this podcast right now, everybody who has been listening to this podcast, seriously, thank you all so much. I mean, this has been a dream of Brady's. I know it's been a dream of mine to do a podcast, and we're doing it. And we have a fan basis. We have people that love listening to us. I love hearing when people like binge listen to us on road trips. It's the coolest thing ever. And thank you guys seriously for everything. We definitely can't wait for more. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And again, thank you guys for listening and putting up with us for this amount of time. And we love you guys all. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate, and any other holiday. So thank you all. And we will, I'm not saying it.
We will see you next year.
Oh, God damn it. I hate that. You said it. I almost said it myself.
Thank you for joining us for Basically Us. We are glad you enjoyed the show and hope to see you next time when Brady says,
Oh, God damn it. I hate that.
See you next time.